We are back with another monthly wrap-up of some of the weird, bizarre, and even scary news to come out of Japan over the last month. So, what happened over the last month or so? Let's take a look. Number 1. Let's start with a little horror. On August 29th, at around 10 PM, residents near Oshima Shosen High School in Yamaguchi Prefecture heard something just a little terrifying. A school bell ringing loudly in the empty darkness. It was so loud that it could be heard up to half a kilometre away, and it just kept going and going. A staff member still at school at the time turned it off, but the chime kept turning back on by itself, and rang for several hours. Numerous people posted the terrifying sound on their Twitter accounts, with many laughing that it was just like a school ghost story, or maybe something a little nefarious was at work. Of course, the school claimed it was just a malfunction, and the chime was repaired the next day with no malfunctions or spiritual interventions since. Number 2. Sticking with the horror theme, have you ever wanted to spend the night in, well, a haunted hotel room? Now you can do just that. Well, kind of. The Montana Flat Ebisu, a hotel in Osaka, recently renovated one of their rooms and turned it into a Western-style mansion horror room. As you can see from these pictures, it's certainly creepy. There are dolls stuck to the wall, creepy wallpaper and carpet, mirrors and chandeliers, and creepy photos. The rest of the room sadly looks quite normal, but you don't even have to spend the night if you just want to see the room. You can rent it for just a few hours if you want to hold a creepy meeting or maybe a photo shoot, or you can rent it for the entire night. Reservations are open now. Number 3. In even more horrifying news, it seems that the town of Shibecha in Hokkaido has been under attack by a bear they call, in their own words, the ninja bear. It's called so because no one has ever actually seen it with their own eyes, only the destruction it causes. Through DNA samples and paw tracks, residents believe the ninja bear has attacked roughly 60 or so cows, usually at midnight, over the last few years. Now, while no one has seen it firsthand, there is footage of the bear on security cameras, and it was caught on camera just recently again, the first time anyone has seen it since 2019. The camera sightings, combined with the paw tracks, suggest the bear is about 300 kilograms, making it quite large. And, frighteningly, the bear doesn't eat the entirety of what it kills. It simply eats a little and leaves the rest, only to attack somewhere else in town soon again. As of now, the bear is still at large. Number 4. On September 19th at roughly 6 AM, a 69-year-old man from Tokamachi City, Niigata Prefecture, reportedly attempted to kill a female relative, also in her 60s, by strangling her with an electric cord. The woman passed out, and the man assumed her to be dead. Suddenly overcome with remorse, he decided the only thing to do now was to turn himself in. The man went to the nearby Tokamachi police station and informed them that he had killed his relative. Police, of course, rushed the scene and found the woman lying on the ground with blood coming out of her nose. She was, however, quite alive. Turned out the man had simply choked her unconscious and never bothered to check whether she was actually dead or not before turning himself in. The woman was taken to the hospital, but her condition was otherwise fine. Police are investigating why the man attempted to kill her, and he has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. There's a lesson here somewhere, I'm sure. Number 5. An interesting debate popped up online last month when a teacher suggested that having students line up in order of height, something common across most schools in Japan, is actually discrimination. After all, we can't choose nor determine our height, so why should those who are the shortest constantly be forced to stand up the front? This could be construed as bullying, so perhaps it was time for the practice to end. Of course, people on both sides of the line have spoken out, with some agreeing that it is discrimination, with others arguing that it doesn't have any deeper meaning and it makes it easier for people in the back to see. After all, if you have a tall person right in front of you, well, good luck seeing anything. As a rather short person myself, I personally don't mind standing up the front so I can see things, but to each their own. Number 6. On September 4th, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government released a page warning against being taken in by psychic scams and how best to avoid or deal with them. By psychic scams, they mean the practice of buying goods that will supposedly change your fortune, dodgy fortune tellers, and the like. While there supposedly hasn't been a huge increase in such scams recently, they still thought it best to bring more attention to the matter, especially in light of all the talk of a certain church and other similar organizations lately. They point out that these types of people take advantage of weakness, and you should always keep in mind if something looks too good to be true. Wise words to live by. Number 7. On August 29th, a parent posted a picture on Twitter with a rather heartbreaking story. As you may know, elementary school students in Japan tend to have a research project they must choose themselves each summer holidays, and then complete before school starts. It turns out that this person's son decided to do a project on the records of the 3 kingdoms, but upon taking it to school was told to take it back home. No displaying for you. Now, this boy spent all summer on this project, which as you can see was pretty well fleshed out. So why was he told to take it home? Well, apparently it was simply too big and didn't fit the school's requirements to be proudly displayed at the school. The parent complained that no size requirement was given beforehand, and it seems a little rough to send that much hard work home, but here we are. Funnily enough, most people were more intrigued by something else. The boy was using images from the Koei Tecmo games, and, of course, they didn't ask for permission to do so. In the end, the parent actually ended up apologizing for using the pictures on a school project without permission, and they simply used what they found on the internet. Either way, a little rough for the kid who put in so much work, but it certainly made waves on the internet after. Number 8. You know I love weird capsule toys, and this month we have another. Look at these beauties. The Kinnikushon, which is a combination of kinniku, or muscles, and cushion, is, well, exactly what it sounds like. A little cushion that looks like a very buff chest. These adorable little pecs, which you must be 15 or older to buy, cost only 400 yen each, and come with a variety of little bow ties as well. Because, you know. They are apparently not intended for human use, being only 7 centimeters long, but don't let that stop you. The manufacturer apparently wants you to use them for your figures, which is somehow stranger to me than using the cushion for yourself, but I guess figures need to have some fun as well, or something. These adorable buff pecs go on sale this October. Number 9. On September 22nd, a 51-year-old man from Osaka was arrested for stealing a large amount of women's clothing over the last 10 years. And what, exactly, was he stealing? Well, raincoats. The man was dubbed the Kappa Otoko, or Raincoat Man, by police, and he was found to have 360 different raincoats he had stolen from women over the last decade in his house. Now, why would this man steal raincoats? According to the man himself, raincoats were the same as underwear. Whenever he saw a woman wearing one, it aroused the same excitement in him. I mean, you do you, but generally it's smart not to steal stuff for your fetish. He reportedly took them from bicycle baskets whenever the chance arose and then kept them all in his house. But because he often stole other items with them, such as cash, wallets, etc., he was charged with damages of over 1 million yen over the years. Number 10. And let's end this month with some real horror news. This month, a rather terrifying mandarin was discovered in an orchid in Ehime. As you can see, it had split in half and looked rather like Pac-Man with horrifying fangs. Apparently, this type of fruit is a Kanpei mandarin, and the skin on this type is rather thin. Thus, when it rains, the fruit rapidly expands and, on occasion, bursts. However, it's rare for a fruit to burst in this way, as usually just the skin tears while the inside remains intact. Numerous people shared pictures of their own burst fruits and the characters they resemble. But as for what will happen to this particular fruit, well, apparently they plan to leave it for now, because it's not even close to harvest season. But they are pleased with the response to the tweet and how interested people are in their terrifying piece of fruit. And that's just some of the weird, bizarre, terrifying, and also kind of funny news that came out of Japan last month. But what about you guys? Hear of anything odd or terrifying? Weird or funny? Let me know in the comments below and I'll see you again next time.